Yes, look what I found. Oh, you probably can't see this, but this is actually it's a bit too much close-up. I will try to move the camera a bit. Yeah, this is probably as far as I can go today. This is what should I say? It's a POS machine, point of sale. It's a display module. Probably fallen off when they dumped this. Clicks right on, and this has a card reader here on the side. It has the display here on the top. It has some ugly scratches here from being dumped. No, it was not a scratch, it was just a plastic. It has a touchscreen. It has a red button here. Power button. Actually, this can be closed. Weird stuff. And they have a USB, and this Protech system, model number PA6225, and it's made somewhere far east in Taiwan, and it does have some other connections. It has the power connected here, and it has a power supply here, and here you can see that it has some USB. This is DC in 24 volt. It's from the power supply. DVR1. This used to have couplings to cashier registers and also to other stuff, and they have COM1, COM2, COM3. They have DC in, they have a VGA, RAID power, second display power, so this is power to the second display, and it has a LAN connector, and it states here USB 3 RAID. This is actually an external SATA connector. It has an audio out. So inside of here there is probably a PC, but should probably just try to turn it on and see what we have here. I have connected the power switch. I have not connected anything else. Displays and stuff. This is an on-off switch, tiny one. Like so. Yeah, this is probably a bit harsh light. I don't know if we can see anything, but no, this was not a light. There you have a light, a green LED. I try the power button and nothing happens. Yeah, I tried to keep it in for 30 minutes and it turned off. Then I try to turn it on again. It's totally quiet, not a sound. Yeah, nothing on the screen. It appears totally dead. I just think I'm going to try to take it apart a bit and see if we find some interesting things inside. Who knows? I probably want to. This is a bit broken here on the side, and this is probably the touch panel that's on side, because these used to have these touch overlays on top, and that's probably what's connected to this COM port. So I find something to put on here, and then I just turn it around. Yeah, I take this cloth like so, and I just like that, and I try to unscrew some of the stuff here so that at least it's easier to see. This display comes probably right off. Really useful Galo screwdriver with this bit holder. Not a very common kind. These screws and check. This is probably the connector that was loose inside here, but I will try to take off this. This is probably not must fasten the whole foot system here, but like so. It did slide something here. It had these keyholes underneath here, so it was this fastening and this keeping the weight. And this inside here is just the power brick and connected to power. And here you have a display part that was connected to a COM port. Probably a special wiring on this COM port for having out power. And look what we have here. It's a lid of some kind. We do probably have some screws inside here. This is made like a tank. Metal screws, quite long, 3mm I think. There was this external VGA connector. Maybe I should try to power it on again and see if I get some picture on an external VGA connector to see, but of course we can check inside first. What do we have here? Oh, this is the drive. Is SSD SATA Transcend. It says SSD 340. Okay, so that's nice. And you know, there are a lot of these rubber thingies here that's hiding the screws. This was from the magnetic card reader. Yeah. Oh. Okay, here we have to be careful. So when these screws was not the same length, every one of them. I will take this apart too and check if there is a connector I can. It disappeared on the inside. Yeah, I just wait, probably, or hopefully it's just inside here. I think I will be able to at least lift the lid. Yeah, I did mention that this is made like a tank. This is casted aluminium, a really thick one of that, and all these screws is not made to be taken off every day. Oh, these are all long screws. But this is some other threads. It's not machine threading. This screwdriver will not be able to take out all the screws. It's the same. You can see here the casted aluminium that's really thick. It's several millimeters thick. And of course there was one more here. And who am I kidding? Of course there are screws here too. It has Windows 10 IoT Enterprise serial number here, so it's at least Windows T vintage. And after taking out all these screws, I did expect something to actually split apart somewhere. Yeah, I'll just unplug this one. Oh, see here, there actually was this connector here. So now I disconnected this card reader, and this probably is also a reader. Maybe it's no, it was not. It was just, maybe it's possible to have a reader there, but there actually are none. And could this be slided inside here? Like so. And it was this connector here, like so. And there actually is this rubber sealant around here. This is amazing, and this is so thick. It's about 3 millimeter cast aluminium all way. This is ridiculous. I mean, and what we have here, this actually it looks to be made some kind of universal thing. We do have more connectors than actually used, and this is probably for the display and stuff. And this is something USB connecting to something, the touch screen maybe here. And this is the power button. You have the serial ports. You have this power connector here, LAN connector, and you have some unused ports here too as well, and a lot of stuff here. And since this not appear to be starting up, I'm going to just test this with a VGA connector plugged into here, just putting the DC power here. And this DC power had 24 volts, so there is a power regulator here on the board, and this is the power regulator part. Now I'm just taking out the power supply from this foot. There was this convenient bracket here that was tying this in place. Like so. This is the adapter. It's for indoor use only, and it's 24 volt, 3 amps. Made in China. EDAC power elec. But that means that this heavy thing here I just can get rid of, and I can just try to get some other points of testing this with external VGA. It did have some LED. It's this one here, and is this, yeah, it's lighting up. Now the LED is off, turning on. I did hear something here, just a capacitor charging or something, and nothing is happening on the screen, nothing at all. Yes, so this is what we are seeing. This power connector is connected in front here. This LED is connected here. You can actually see there is a small LED here as well that probably lights up at the same time as the other one. Yes, now it's off, and then it turns on. And we do also have a reset switch here. Yeah, the reset switch also acted as a power switch, I think. So maybe it is a power switch. We do have a small beeper here. Let's try to disconnect the power. Take out the memory chip, then it should be beeping at us. And this is actually 8 gigabytes of 2R DDR3L, low voltage DDR3. And I'm going to try to plug in this again. The VGA is still connected. No beeps, nothing. Yeah, then the next thing we do is to disconnect this battery. Keep it out for a while. Battery has been out. We can actually measure this battery and see if it contains any voltage. .9 volts, so this is actually good. When you watch this, you should think that this guy has never put in a battery before. Like so. There is in, you have some jumpers here, and as I said, we have this card connected here, and this is USB. This is the digitizer card for the touchscreen, and I can also try to disconnect this. This is the digital connection for the video. There are some jumpers here. Maybe there are some configuration jumpers to say what kind of display it should boot into. Yeah, there are actually a lot of ifs and buts. Maybe we should try to see if we could get a manual for this board. I can't see any markings on this board that will tell me which manufacturer has made the actual board. Yeah, I'm just going to try it one more time now with the digitizer and the digital video disconnected. One of the reasons why the display is thick is of course this. This CPU is meant to be cooled down by this. And this is quite sturdy stuff. But I don't think this is running at all, because there is no heat whatsoever on this one. But as there is some USB and stuff here, we probably can measure some voltages, and we have this power here that we know is a power connector. .11 volt, 12 volt DC on this one, and this one was a USB 5 volt. So the 5 volt rail is working. Maybe if I measure here, this is only the 5 volt rail, is now 3.3 to this one. It probably is now 3.3 rail. It actually supplies the 12 volt as well to this, so you can connect an ordinary hard drive to this stuff. So we do know that the power supply is working, and we also do know that the CPU is not starting. I'm just trying to check if I find some writing that can give me some clues of who manufactured this board. Here you have some more outputs and stuff. COM1 is also, so this, there is one other COM port. I didn't notice at first, but in addition to this beeper here, There is this actually speaker on side here that probably gives out quite the loud beep. But apart from this automatic fuse, I see no other things that can look like fuses on this board. Yeah, I do think we have to do the rest of our work on Google, and I'm just going to disconnect the power here, like so. And I'm going to check for these Protech systems, model number PA6225, and check what I can find. Yes, this time we went straight to internet to check what we actually got. And I was just googling for the PA6225, and I tried some POS and I tried some all-in-one, and it actually showed up the user manual quite straight away. On the web page for the vendor it was nothing much, but I did find it on another manual site. And this is actually the user manual for the system, and I'm going to show you some of the manuals. But I can show you straight away something, and that is this. Powered by the Celeron J1900 quad-core. Some years ago there was a lot of QNOPs and Synology NASes that was dying. Also some, I think there was network equipment from Cisco and some other vendors that contained this series of chips. And all of them was prone to dying. And I do remember somewhat, just on the top of my head, what the fault was, but I will get back to that in a little bit. I will just browse through this manual and see what we actually got here. Yeah, some of the notice system. Oh, it's a lot of contents. I see now it's 283 pages. And yeah, lots and stuff, and system diagrams and stuff. Yeah, some rear view. It's no doubt this is our monitor for sure. And they have some printer option that you can place actually on the standing or the foot of the device. And you have two different kind of stands. And here you can see this is supplied with VGA. It's the 8 GB DDR3 SODIMM. And yeah, it's also supplied with this, and this has a 2016 date mark on this at least. Yeah, and the wireless LAN option was not fitted on our device. That socket was empty. AMI BIOS 2-watt speaker. Yeah, nothing much. Yeah, it stands what's emission it stands to, and the resolution for the 15-inch TFT. Yeah, the optional display, the POS display, we had that on our system, remember. And this is for the SATA port. We had an SSD in our device and some stuff, and it actually support one extra drive. That was the external drive for backup use. Safety precautions, system configurations, what the ports are. And we have identified this. We can see if there are any surprises. Audio, VGA, you have the power for the drawer. And you can see that you actually can have two drawers. It can be split into two connectors. You have the USB 3 and the eSATA joined together. DC in, you have the DC out for the printer. 3 COM ports. And UPS, that I'm not sure about, but maybe it's a 24 volt that you can connect to a different power source. RAID power is to have the external drive as we was talking about. Yeah, nothing special. Yeah, and this we have already, we don't need to go into this. And this is actually, we can see that we have our mainboard here. It's a sketch of our mainboard, and there's no doubt that it's the same board. We have no chips other than the Celeron shown here. There is some more chips over here for the I/O controller and bus and stuff, and you do have some controller here for the display and stuff. Yeah, how to set jumpers, jumper diagram. This is for the serial ports where you can connect extra power. Yeah, and you can also set that in BIOS actually. Yeah, the COM connectors, jumper settings, I button, the drawer. Yeah, nothing special. And we're going to check to see if the LED connectors. I'm going to see if there are some other special connections. No, it's not. Inverter, this is for the backlight of the display, of course. Power button, LED backlight power selection, power connector. Panel resolution selection, and the same board is then used on the 15-inch, the 10.4, 10.4, another 10.4. And the 17-inch also. But I don't think that affects our VGA connection, so I do think we will get a fair signal on the VGA connection anyway, and our monitor should be able to supply this anyway on a 15-inch monitor. We had a 17 actually, 17, sorry, but it should be able to display this natively anyway. Display connector, touch panel connector. Clear CMOS data, that we already done by taking out the battery and said it wait about 6 seconds. MSC card reader connection. I'm not checked out this, but it seems like it's connected with, as a keyboard, because it's keyboard clock and keyboard data input output. So it might be able to act as a keyboard, this card reader. Printer connector. MSATA Mini PCI Express, we saw that one. Printer board, we don't have a printer board in our system. That's an optional board that controls the whole printer. Another printer board, 2 different kinds. Actually, one other printer board, AutoCutter VFD board. This is the display board that we have. So this is probably the same. Yeah, now we are over to utilities, Windows drivers, and so on. Yeah, it's actually for a lot and lots and programming interfaces and barcodes for, and you have lots and lots of stuff if you want to program against interfaces for the display and the other stuff. Nice touch. And also the API. This is probably something that was supplied with this with some driver stuff. And this is BIOS post screen, just more BIOS stuff. Not so interesting. If you can't reach the BIOS anyway because the system is not booting, this is not interesting. Strong timer. It actually stated in assembly language how you should access the driver and watchdog timer and other stuff. System resource map, IRQs stuff. This is not something you see on an everyday computer, that's for sure. The whole memory map. This is special stuff. System diagrams, and this is for dismantling it. This we have already done, so I don't think we will find any surprises in here. No, but then we got our clue on our first page that this was an Intel Celeron, and now I can tell you what it actually was back in the day. That was the fix for these systems that had this Celeron and small Pentiums that stopped working. And it actually is a bus that this CPU have to talk to peripheral chips and so on. And it's called the LPC bus. And this is a small bus with just 4 bit, I think, with data transfer, and it does have some other signals and stuff. But there also is a clock on this. And that actually was the fault, that there was some degradation, I do think, in the processor itself that made the signal weaker over time, so that in some systems you had to tie this to ground, and in some systems you had to tie it to 5 volt. That actually I find very strange that you should tie it up, because normally these signals is not being able to drive themselves down when they need more power, but that's easy testable. I need to find out what chip is on this board, and I will just I will just check that at once. Yeah, it actually is the Protech F80166AD. The Protech 81866AD. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're able to see this, but you should be. I will just try to make a bigger version of this. But this is the F81866A. And the signal that's degraded on the other ones, it's the one that connects here to the PCI clock. And you can see the rest of the signals for this LPC bus is the ones that you have over here. And you have 3 volt here, and you have ground here. So we should be able to pull this somewhere. And I don't think it will go much power into this, but I won't make any shorts, of course. So if I try to pull this down to ground first by a 100 ohm resistor, I think that will do the same trick as it did on all those QNAPs years ago. Even though this is a slightly different chipset, these QNAPs and stuff, they used a F70 something, but it also was Protech, as I do recall. This is some years back. I wonder if this was not in 2019 or 2018 or something that these things happened. But anyway, I just think I will make a hack and just try to connect this this by a 100 ohm resistor. This is actually a chip from 2012, so it actually are some years old, but this bus and stuff, it came years ago, so I don't think the fault is in this chipset. I do seem to recall that this was a fix that was been made in some later versions of the Celerons and Intel chips. So let's crack on with that. Yeah, what I'm trying to accomplish here is that I'm going to connect these small legs that you see here on this this ship to the actual connections as we saw in the diagram from before, but I have measured out that pin 32 is available on end of a resistor, and ground is available from the connector. You have a 9-pin connector up in the side here, and ground is available from that one. So I will just try to make this resistor fit, and I also put a heat tube over this resistor so that we won't short out anything now before we try this on. Yeah, and here in the upper right corner you can see a sketch of what we are trying to accomplish with this resistor, and we are actually soldering this in both ends also to the connector up in the right corner. And you can see in the upper left corner now, it's a very grainy picture, but this is actually when this is soldered on. Yeah, sorry for the grainy picture and the bad quality, but I actually forgot to take a picture before. Yeah, I took everything and cleaned it off my desk and made it ready for assembly later. Yeah, now I will just try to connect the power and see if we got any life in this system. It was beeping. Oh, and we got picture, but I will just turn this off because I don't want anything to overheat. And this was my take on a C2000 bug issue. It was the Celeron J1900, but it's affected with the same bug as the others in this series. And I did make a temporary repair, but I have not tested this fully assembled, and I have not put everything together and not tested the built-in screen and so on. That has to be a topic for another video. This one has gotten far too long already. This was just meant to be a quick recap of a dumpster find. So, is this a permanent fix? By no means, because every source tells us that this is a temporary fix and that these ships will continue to degrade, so sooner or later this fix won't help and the unit will die anyway. So I'm not putting anything that has this bug into production. It's good to get out the data and you can use it for some test and so on, but this is by no means something that will fix this forever. So that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again in my next episode. When that will be, I'm not sure, but maybe in a week or two. What the topic will be, I will have to see which product is or a project is coming along the furthest until then. So until next time, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.